Hey, Stoney here with another game of Mechabellum. This is, I believe, the semifinals of the weekend tournament European. I'm joined by Clint Leetwood, and on the bottom here we have PlayArcher playing as a quick supply specialist, and he's up against Dorgon playing as a rhino specialist. How do you feel about this one so far, Clint?
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Because Dorgon is having a little bit of a Cinderella story. Last round beat Zemp, now setting his sights on PlayArcher, another 2100 MMR player. Something that's very interesting here is that PlayArcher, sorry, is kind of slow rolling his quick supply spec, still saving 100. But managed to cash in a little bit of it for the degen beam. But it looks like Dorgon has just a little bit too much tempo with these phoenixes. Initially, right, PlayArcher did not answer the phoenixes. Typically, when I'm playing, I try to always answer what's on the board. How about you? How do you approach?
Depends on the turn. I mean, sometimes if the turn, like right now, this is round 2. I might have to see what's going on. There may be another option. So it changed a lot since the introduction of the free units, and I've also read online, like when people are when they see a threat in starting at round 2, they might wait because there's a very good chance that there's going to be a free unit drop within the next 2 rounds, which may contain the answer. In this case, yeah. I think Wasp were at it. I think they were to answer the Phoenix threat. Steel balls, I'm not sure they're doing much at this point. I think they're doing more tanking than they are doing damage, since there's really nothing for them to shoot at. It's just all chaff.
Yeah, laser sights picked up for both players too. Pretty normal stuff. That's one of those items that you see and you kind of you're not forced into taking, but in a lot of matchups it feels like you are. Some cool stuff from Dorgon too. He had the Phoenixes in a very standard position, went jump drive, and then repositioned them behind the laser sight Wraith. I think that's pretty strong. Also lets you kind of overload one side. And it lets you give these like quick little tempo plays in like in the bottom left. But however, PlayArcher has some wasps ready to chomp. And there they go. Chomp.
It's like a 2-for-1 deal, getting the Wasps trying to get to Phoenixes, but they had to get past the Wraith, but now the Phoenixes just offer themselves up on a platter. It's like, here we are, come shoot us. PlayArcher also had a very close game last round against Apucci.
Very true. Very true. What was it? It was PlayArcher at 71?
71 HP. And Apucci was at like 2,500.
Yeah.
And it was like a 1-round KO. Yeah. All right. Lots of chaff on the board. Instant Bomb makes a lot of sense for both sides.
Completely agree. And I find myself skipping Incendiary Bomb if it's like rounds 2 and 3, but after that, I'm like almost always taking it.
It's fair because at the early rounds, you just have so little supply, and it's a lot more important to just at least get your 2 deployments down.
I completely agree. Aerial spec coming out for the Wasps to help deal with the Wraith. If I remember correctly, it's a range and aerial spec outrange a Wraith, and yeah, kind of evens the playing field a little bit.
Yeah.
Dorgon though shielding and PlayArcher not. That's pretty brutal.
So that essentially means just that the Wasp will get stuck on shooting chaff, where the Wraith will just come in and kill everything else. Also, the Rhino is also on this side, so it's I think the right-hand side is lost for PlayArcher for this round, just for not shooting.
A lot of tempo from Dorgon.
I think so far both players are still just kind of posturing. There's really no serious commitment to any technology with the exception of anti-air or air spec for these Wasps. That's a strategy I've seen a lot at higher MMRs, is just not to overcommit early on. Wait for the
Mhm.
second round of unit drops and then build your strategies around that.
Yeah, that's typically how I see a lot of people play too. You play these non-committal boards, and you wait for a strong signal in one of the unit packs. Makes a lot of sense to me. It looks like, however, PlayArcher manages to wrestle back some tempo in his favor, which is good.
I was very surprised that those wasps actually took care of all the air units on that side. I guess laser side
Yeah,
really paid off, huh?
I think what's happening here is the phoenixes are moving a little too fast and getting ahead of the of the shield, which should be the wraith, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the wasps are taking them out.
All
But we have
right.
some saber cash potentially coming out. Ooh, sandworm for Archer.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna go into the wasp wraith worm, the triple W.
Yeah, the wasp very warm. He already has the unit for it. He's even got the steel balls. Steel balls works really well with range. Um, if there's a fortress counter against the sandworm, the steel ball goes in and clear out the fortress.
That's interesting. Neat. I didn't even think about putting balls
Yeah,
into
but
that
if you're
comp.
going with steel balls, you cannot go with sandstorm. So there's a good chance he would just go armor instead of sandstorm. Still
Okay.
allows him to tank, but gives the ball the ability to. There it is, the fortress. Let's see if this works out for him.
Whoa, this is I feel like another just like textbook read and answer to this kind of setup. We're seeing once again, right? Once a worm hits the field, a fort's coming out to answer the triple W comp.
Mm-hmm. This worm is very vulnerable right now. The moment it pops up, it's going to get shot up by 4 level 2 phoenixes. Actually,
Yeah.
no, this wasp, not wasp, the crawler's actually getting in right there. But let's see. I don't think PlayArcher has enough chaff clear here. But let's see,
Balls
maybe.
immediately
Oh,
latch on
balls
to
gets
that
latch on. Yeah,
Rhino.
balls gonna latch on here as well. You know what? What am I saying? That he does have enough chaff clear. Just ramming through that defense.
There were like 2 wasps on the right side just DPSing down that
My God.
raid. Some really strong swings here from PlayArcher. PlayArcher grabs senior defense specialist. That's a very interesting pickup in my mind. Usually, I kind of avoid those since they got nerfed a while back. How do you feel about those cards like range specialist, senior defense
Um,
specialist, that kind of stuff?
I take it. It is round 6, so right now I think what they're really going for is to keep this sandworm alive for as long as possible. There's no melting point on the board, which means there's just constant static. There's sort of constant damage. There's no exponential damage. So anything
Okay.
that keeps the sandworm going for a bit longer means that the rest of the units can clear his units. With PlayArcher, he does have the steel ball, so he doesn't really care if Dorgon takes the senior defense. He would just DPS them down, just got to charge a bit longer. So yeah, I think that's a good card for PlayArcher. I was also looking at speed. Speed might be interesting as well. But right now, it's not a big concern because the range for most of these units isn't very far. There's no storm callers, so the senior is probably senior dev was probably a good choice.
Oil being here solely for tempo, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because by the time Incendiary Bomb is up, oil will be off the ground. So that's interesting. But also Replicate coming out. Uh, pretty typical stuff. Really strong stuff. Degen Beam Replicate is kind of the name of the game as of late.
Yeah. And you see how the oil is working here, right? Because last round, these crawlers on the far right gets to walk ahead of the sandworm before it pops. But now the sandworm pops and now is immediately under the fire of all the phoenixes. So it goes down a little faster. But I think with the senior dev is surviving once again, just enough for everything else to die.
Man, I'm really liking those steel balls.
Yeah.
I have to play around with the skunk because I've done some stuff with worm and wasp and crawler, but
Yeah.
I'm just way impressed with how much work these steel balls are doing.
Yeah. You don't always have to go sandstorm. So if you have ground support, just go with armor and a lot of health on a sandworm. It's going to work the same.
Yeah, and Dorgon on death's door at this point. Tempo oil did not save him. Uh, I don't really know a way out for him here. It
Yeah,
looks
he
pretty
doesn't
rough.
have launcher overload either. Usually that's a straight up answer against sandworms.
Makes
Scorpions,
sense.
maybe a double shot, maybe an acid. I'm not sure. Either way, it's
Nano,
not going to be good against Mechdef.
yeah, Nano came out for both players. Level 2 Wraith with Nano is nigh unkillable. Uh, and a level 1 Fort with Nano, I don't know if that really does a whole lot against steel balls, honestly. At a certain point, the damage just
Yeah,
outramps what you're doing.
yeah, yeah. It's such a huge tempo swing when the sandworm dropped. It was beautiful. Like it's just like Dorgon had no answer to it for the last
Yeah.
3 rounds.
And the thing is, right, is we've talked about this before, but like, this is kind of the answer, right? You match degen, you go AA for it, and PlayArcher just has the better army. Still,
Still,
I was kind of under the impression that that Archer was going to be selling off these steel balls, but no, these
oh, they're the carry. They're the MVP.
truly, yeah, they are the star of the show right now. And look at this
Look at
nano
this.
repair fort is dead.
Dead. This fort is dead. That fort is dead. Right.
The scorpion
Scorpion
is
is
shooting
dead.
crawlers. Yeah,
Like, look at the damage done by this level 2 steel ball. It's 160k for the game. Even this level 1, like 100k, level 1 steel ball. Pretty insane.
and there ends Dorgon's Cinderella story. Not a bad loss to lose to Archer in my mind, though. That's
No, and especially with something this strong. I think he, yeah, not having launcher overload in this meta, I think it's a mistake. If he had launcher overload, he would have lasted a hell lot longer because not only they can bring the sandworms down very quickly, the fortress themselves become decent chaff clear.
yeah, it's very true.
So
How do you feel about Fist into this matchup?
doesn't do
Fist.
enough damage. I mean, this guy's got 150,000, right? Your fist does 11, 15,000. You're going to need a lot of fists to bring down the sandworm.
That's true. I was just thinking with steel balls slowly ramping you down, your health bar down. You get, your three
You
fists.
get your extra 30,000 damage. Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, but it's a tough one for Dorgon. Just the lack of correct technology on his units. Well, I hope you enjoyed this game, and I hope to see you on the next one.